This is question number 38. Sales is given to you. That's the first item of your revenue statement. Closing stock दिया है, COGS से minus होगा. Purchases COGS add. Loss on sale of asset. This is a non-operating expense. Advertising will go under the heading of operating expenses. Selling and distribution. Rent will go under admin overheads, operating expenses. Profit on sale of shares. This is non-operating income. Provision for taxation, provision for taxes. Then salaries, admin overheads under the heading operating expense. Salesman salary, selling and distribution under the heading operating expense. Depreciation, again admin overheads under the heading operating expense. Sales return will be subtracted from sales so that we can get net sales. ठीक है, तो याद रखना, now in the formula we will be using net sales, not gross sales. हम लोग net sales लेंगे. Depreciation on delivery van, selling and distribution under the heading operating expense. Printing and stationery, admin overheads under the heading operating expense. Audit fees, admin overheads under the heading operating expense. Then opening stock, COGS add. Then dividend received on shares, non-operating income. Okay, sales is the only operating income. Apart from that, any income you get, it is categorized as non-operating income. Okay, so what they have said, rearrange the above income statement. Okay, so I have rearranged. We will be making a revenue statement, vertical format, and then we will calculate GP ratio, operating ratio, net operating profit ratio, selling and distribution expense to sales ratio, and net profit ratio. Okay, so only this much is asked to you. So start with this revenue statement. We have first sales. Okay, then less sales return. So 10,57,000 minus 57,000. So it becomes 10 lakhs. Okay. Then calculate COGS, opening stock, add purchases, less closing stock. Okay. Opening is how much? 2,35,000 plus purchases 8,35,000 minus closing stock 4,60,000. So 6 lakhs is my answer. This is what? This is my COGS. इसको नेट सेल्स से माइनस करें. नेट सेल्स कितना है? 10 lakhs. मेरा ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट कितना होगा? 4 lakhs. Okay, next operating expenses. Okay, under operating expenses, I have, yeah, see the list. Operating expenses is what? Admin expense, selling and distribution, and financial expense also. There are three parts to it. So admin expense में you have rent, salaries, depreciation, printing and stationery, audit fees. Selling and distribution में you have advertisement, salesman salary, depreciation on delivery van. Okay. See the totals, 18,750 plus 35,750 plus 36,000 plus 17,500 plus 12,000. It is 1 lakh 20. Okay. Selling and distribution 32,750 plus 14,250 plus 8,000. 55,000. Okay. Finance expense में there is nothing. So we will write nil. And then we will total all the three. So 1,75,000 is what? This is my operating expense. इसको हम gross profit से minus करेंगे. So I will get 2,35,000. That is my operating net profit. Okay. Don't forget operating net profit. Okay. Next. So we got our operating net profit. Next, add non-operating income. Okay, non-operating income में what do I have? Profit on sale of shares and dividend on shares. Profit on sale of shares is almost 25,000 plus 15,000. Makes it to 40,000. And we have only one non-operating expense, that is loss on sale of assets. Okay. So मेरा operating profit कितना है? 2,25,000 plus operating income, non-operating income 40 minus non-operating expense 45. 2,20,000. Then इसमें से I will subtract my taxes. Provision for taxes are 1 lakh. So 1,20,000 is my net profit after taxes. Okay. Next, now we will calculate the ratios. First, GP ratio, gross profit upon net sales into 100. Okay, so GP is how much? 4 lakhs. Net sales we just got 1 lakh. So you can directly take like this. 4 divided by 10 into 100. 4 lakhs divided by 10 lakhs into 40%. Okay. Then operating ratio. So it is COGS plus operating expense divided by net sales into 100. Okay. So COGS is how much? 6 lakhs. Operating expense is how much? 1 lakh 74. Okay. All we have got from our revenue statement. Okay. So 6 lakhs plus 1 lakh 75 divided by net sales into 100. 77.5. Then net operating profit. So net operating profit divided by net sales into 100. Net operating profit was how much? 2,25,000. Yes. Okay. So 2,25,000 divided by 10 lakhs into 100. So 22.5. Then selling and distribution expense to sales ratio. मतलब selling and distribution expense ratio. Okay. Okay. So selling and distribution expense how much? 55,000 divided by 10 lakhs into 100. It is 5.5%. See, selling and distribution we have got to do it. Yeah. 55. Okay. Next, net profit ratio. I have always said we will take net profit after tax, not before tax. Yes. So net profit after tax कितना है मेरा 1,20,000, right? So 1,20,000 divided by 10 lakhs into 100. So it is 12%. Okay. Okay. Now let us move on to composite ratios. Okay. Now, composite ratios mean what will happen if you see these ratios, the numerator or denominator. Okay, if the numerator is from balance sheet, denominator will be from revenue statement. वैसे वर्षा भी हो सकता है. If the numerator is from revenue statement, denominator will be from balance sheet. Okay, so it's a combination of balance sheet and your revenue statements. Okay, the first is return on investments, also known as return on capital employed. Okay, so this is known as return on capital employed. Okay, so what does it measures? Why do we study this ratio? Because it helps you to find the relationship between net profit before interest and taxes and capital employed to earn the same. Okay, so see the formula is what? NPBIT upon C. Okay, तो जरा सोचो ये जो न्यूमरेटर है ये आपको कहाँ से मिलेगा? रेवेन्यू स्टेटमेंट से. और ये जो कैपिटल एम्प्लॉय है कहाँ से मिलेगा? Balance sheets. Okay, that's why it's a composite ratio. Okay, and what is the use of these ratios? Obviously, it helps you to measure the overall profitability from total funds made available by the owners and the lenders. Okay, then it helps to judge how efficient the company is managing the funds at its disposal. मतलब जितना पैसा कंपनी ने जमा किया है कंपनी उसको कैसे यूज कर रही है, वेयर इज इट अप्लाइंग दोस फंड्स. ओके, एप्लीकेशन ऑफ फंड्स. नेक्स्ट, रिटर्न ऑन प्रोप्राइटर्स फंड. Okay, ROPF, return on proprietors fund. Okay, so NPAT, net profit after tax divided by proprietors fund into 100. So ये कहाँ से मिलेगा आपको? रेवेन्यू स्टेटमेंट्स. और ये कहाँ से मिलेगा आपको? बैलेंस शीट. ओके, या so it shows the relationship between profits and investments by the proprietors in the company, and it measures the return rate of return. ROR is what? Rate of return on total funds made available by the owners. Helps to judge how efficient the company is managing the owner's funds at its disposal. Owner's funds skewed because it is return on proprietors funds. Then ROEC, that is return on equity, your equity shareholders, equity capital. Okay, return on your equity capital, ROEC, return on equity capital. So formula is profit available to equity shareholders. ये कहाँ से मिलेगा आपको? बैलेंस शीट से, divided by equity shareholders funds. Okay, into 100. So it helps to know the relationship between profits and equity shareholders funds in the company. It helps you to calculate the profits available to take care of the equity dividends, transfer to reserves, etc. And useful for present and prospective matlab future investors for deciding whether to purchase, keep or sell the equity shares. Okay, that is why it is solely returns on equity capital. तो इसमें प्रेफरेंस बिल्कुल नहीं आएगा, दिया रहेगा तो विल हैव टू सब्ट्रैक्ट. Then dividend payout ratio, it talks about dividend paid to equity shareholders with in connection to profit available to equity shareholders. Okay? It indicates the relationship between dividend paid to equity shareholders out of the profits available to the equity shareholders. Okay? So say for example if the profit is 100, So out of this 100 rupees profit, how much dividend will you pay to your equity shareholders? So it gives you that ratio. Okay. तो से अगर आप प्रॉफिट आपका कितना मिलेगा 100 रुपये, अगर आप इसका 20% भी देते हो तो कितना हो जाएगा 20 रुपीज़. ठीक है. Okay, it's a coverage ratio which shows the relationship between profits and the claims of the outsiders to be paid out of the profits. It measures the dividend paying capacity of the company. See, I've just given an example here. Dividend payout 30%. If the value of equity shares is 100, so 100 for 30 will come to 30 rupees. And then debt service ratio, NPBITV. Net profit before interest and tax. Okay, so the other name for debt service ratio is interest coverage ratio. It indicates the relationship between net profits and the interest that is payable on the loans that the company has taken. Okay, so in short, it calculates the interest paying capacity of the company. So, given an example, debt service ratio would, if your answer is 5 times, it will indicate that the earnings are 5 times the interest. Okay, so अगर आप 5 रुपया इंटरेस्ट भर रहे हो लोन पे, तो आप इसका 5 टाइम्स कमा रहे हो 25 रुपीज़. दैट इज़ द रीज़न यू आर पेइंग द इंटरेस्ट. ओके, आपने जो लोन लिया है बैंक से उस पर यू आर पेइंग एन इंटरेस्ट ऑफ 5 rupees. And if your dividend pay or your debt service ratio is 5 times, that means you're earning 5 times what you are paying. So the higher the better. Okay, तो जो बाकी का पैसा बच जाएगा, that will be available for paying taxes and keeping money aside for appropriations. So just giving an example, 100 rupees, if you're paying 1/6 of this, okay, so how much? 20 rupees. बाकी का जो 80 rupees है, that will be used up for paying taxes and for appropriation. means that. Okay, debt service coverage ratio. It is cash profits available for debt servicing upon interest plus installments due on debts. Okay, all these ratios you'll understand much better when we are doing sums related. Okay, it shows the relationship between net profit and interest plus installments payable on debts. Okay, so these are two different variables: net profit and interest plus installments payable on debts. Okay, so a small example I have given: profit after interest and taxes 25,000, interest payable is 25,000, depreciation is 15,000, loan installments payable during the year is 1,45,000. Okay, so when you're calculating the debt service coverage ratio, so obviously we'll add on this as per the formula: 35,000 plus 15,000 plus 25,000. So now about 50 plus 65,000 divided by 1,45,000 plus 25. How much? 1,70,000. If we just gave an example about this, actually the main highlight is this: 1.7. What is indicates that the cash earnings are 1.70 times, almost 2 times the interest and the installment that you will pay on the loan. Okay, तो बाकी का पैसा आप क्या करोगे? You will use it for write-offs and appropriations. Okay, this we have already done. Data's turnover ratio. How we have done stock turnover. Similarly, you have data's turnover also. Okay, so what do they indicate? They indicate the relationship between obviously credit sales and average debtors. And the most important thing, it helps you to calculate the rate or the speed at which debtors get settled. Okay, मतलब अगर तुम क्रेडिट सेल्स कर रहे हो तो कितने दिन में तुम्हारे पास पैसा आता है. It actually helps you to calculate that. Debtors turnover ratio. Credit sales upon average debtors plus bills receivable. Okay, and there is a formula to average debtors and bills receivable. Opening debtors and goods receivable plus closing debtors and goods receivable divide by 2. And if you want to collect debtors collection period, which is also known as debtors velocity, then your formula is 1 upon debtors turnover ratio into, I had told you this when we were doing stock turnover. If you want to answer in days, then 365. If you want in months, then 12 months. If you want in weeks, then it has to be 52 weeks. In a year, there are 52 weeks. Okay. And similarly, you have creditors turnover ratio. Same formula. Credit purchase upon average creditors then split bills created. Now, how do you get average creditors and bills created? Opening plus closing divide by 2. And if I want to know my payment period, that is creditors velocity, I will just inverse the ratio 1 upon creditors turnover ratio into 365 days or 12 months or 52 weeks. Okay, like debtors turnover ratio, which helps us to know the relationship between credit sales and debtors. This ratio, creditors turnover, helps you to know the relationship between, yeah, your creditors and the credit purchase. Okay, so इसमें भी velocity हम find करते हैं, मतलब the speed at which we pay make payment to our creditors. Okay. Okay, so this completes our combined ratios theory. Next lecture we will start with